didn't really have a great amateur career there besides my last year, so don't have too great of memories. But yeah, just felt good. I mean, I didn't do too good in practice, but never really do too well during that. Got 2 really good starts. Yeah, like I said, just felt good. Dylan was going to be to hang with him, so I was a little bummed on that, but I can't really be too bummed because I went 3-2 for second, and tie is my second best result. So happy to leave around more.
Awesome. Let me try to pass it over on to Jeremy. Jeremy, you hear me? Unmute.
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So Jeremy, why don't you give us a kind of the same rundown for you? How was your day? And tell us about your return to racing. It's your first national since you got hurt in 2018. So give us a rundown through your day as well.
Yeah, the day was not bad. I mean, it felt really good just to be back at the races and to have that goal and to line up with the boys and just try to have that competitive drive to try to beat everybody. So qualified second fastest, and I struggled with my starts today, man. I knew that start was slippery, but I didn't expect it to be like Washougal slippery. So didn't get out of the gate the best in both motos, but just tried to be tough and suffer through that heat and get up to the front. And RJ and I was getting on RJ in Moto 1, and then he unfortunately hit a lapper. The guy RJ had nowhere to go, and I got a blessing from him. And then Moto 2, Alex and I had a pretty gnarly battle, and then Shane and I were battling, and then I couldn't. RJ was so far gone, at that point, and just tried to be smart and end it with a third and get a podium the first round.
Awesome. And Shane, why don't you unmute yours, and we can do the same for you.
Sorry, what was the question? I missed out all the audio.
You kind of got cut out. So really, just a recap of your day. It's the first race in a long time. You're coming off a great Supercross season. Your first race with this team at the Nationals, and you're going back to Loretta Lynn's. Where a lot of you had spent a lot of time. So kind of just go over your day. To start the season.
Yeah, it was a decent start to the outdoor season. I mean, we've really put in a lot of work in the off season, and we've had an extended off season. Well, a second off season. So it was nice to get behind the gate again. First time lining up on the Yamaha outdoors, and really getting to put it through its outdoor paces and really try and find where I am, because we've been practicing for a while, and I wanted to start outdoors out good, and it was tough because the track was really tough, and I was pretty nervous just first outdoor round, and I happy to get out with 2/4. I mean, it's not setting the world on fire, but with everything kind of going on today, I was happy with that. I mean, same guys passed me each moto, but second moto track and trying to make it work, and really just racing against all these guys. It's going to be a fun season for however long it is, and I'm ready to line back up next weekend.
Awesome. So we'll open up to the media. Media, I'll let you guys know. You have a raise your hand function, on here, so please feel free to use it. It'll help me kind of know who wants to ask a question. And I'll ask you to please just kind of introduce yourself, who you're with, before you do it, just to help the guys out a little bit. So Cooksey, we will start with you. Go ahead, unmute yourself and ask a question.
Chris with Cooksey Media. So RJ, that was impressive. The fact that you come back from an ACL in like 3 months. What did you do recovery-wise? Did you do hyperbaric chambers, light therapy? I mean, that's borderline miracle. You had to do something unique, right?
Honestly, man, nothing out of the ordinary. I pretty much hired a guy full-time back home. PJ took care of all my therapy, and I truly believe that once you just set your mind to something and you tell yourself it's going to happen, it ends up, your body's going to believe it and you're going to end up, making it happen. So that's where I was just whenever I found out I was going to miss Supercross. Man, I was pretty bummed. I was bummed for myself and bummed for the team. Being a new team, a new rider to them, and they expected a lot out of me, and kind of felt like I let them down pretty bad for Supercross. So I was set on, making this outdoor season and not just making it, but being competitive. And pretty sure I just proved that, I'm here to, battle and be competitive and not, have any lacks of strength in my knee. Not going to lie, it's a little sore right now, but it's kind of expected after, outdoor like that.
All right.
And then now Shane, so you're in a weird position where you're moving up to the 450 next year. Typically you'd be heading into off season and kind of looking for a ride. Is it, how do you keep from getting distracted? And do you have any plans for next year yet?
I don't have any plans for next year yet. We have been talking to some people, but really, I have a job to do, and doing my job good right now is gonna help secure something in the future. So we started working with an agent this year, and well, really right before Utah, because we were gonna just do it ourselves, but we decided to start working with an agent. So that took a lot off of our plate, and it's been really good so far. So he is aware of the situation, and he's doing everything that he can to lighten my wife and I's load. So I got to do good in outdoors, and that will kind of help whatever the future looks like. So that's kind of where we are right now, is we're working to continue to get better. I mean, I got 4th overall today, but that's by far the best I've ever started outdoors. So we got some more work to do, but we got some good work to do and some room to improve. So I'm excited to race at the same track again next weekend. It's a fun track. It's pretty tight. Today I think it was so technical just mainly because of all the rain, but I think if we don't get too much rain, it can be a really good racetrack, and we can have some good racing next weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Guy B, go ahead and unmute, and you can get next.
All right. Hey, Jeremy, you looking or hanging out at the pits yesterday, it's funny, you're on one end and you're the old wily vet of the team now. And the rest of the guys, look like they're young, having fun, all that. Talk about that a little bit. And then also on that start, was it the pad itself or the start straight? Walking across it, there were definitely soft spots and harder spots. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so for your question on the actual pad itself, and I would say the riders would probably agree, like just a little bit out in front of the gate was pretty slick. Like it was really slippery, like without a grate in Supercross, like maybe Vegas slippery. So that was interesting. But like you said, there was definitely some spots like further out where there was some sinkholes and stuff due to all the rain. And then as far as for like the team, yeah, definitely. We've got a packed house over there, and it's pretty funny. Like, I've always been a little bit more serious, and I'm kind of a little bit of a loner on race day, and that's just kind of my deal, and that's who I am. And then, you've got Jets and Hunter and Carson and Shmoda, and they're in there listening to rap music and, all that stuff. So it's kind of funny. I'm obviously more serious, and they do what makes them race better, and they're more lighthearted and stuff. So I kind of I enjoy it. I just sit back and watch.
Did you meet your expectations for the weekend? That to me, it looked like some vintage Jeremy. So what do you think?
I mean, I definitely wanted to get out of there with a podium. I wish I would have gotten a little bit better starts, and I wish I could have gave RJ a little bit more fits in that second moto. But, I felt good. It's been pretty much 2 years since I've raced an outdoor national. And, I'm adjusting to some things, like as far as like when it gets really hot out, the hardware in my back, I get pretty hot. So that's different for me. I used to like welcome the heat pretty gnarly and stuff. So I do notice a little bit of a difference there with the instrumentation in my back. I've noticed that. So, yeah, just looking forward to this series. I love the great outdoors. I love the grind. I love the motos, and it's not so much of a show like Supercross. So, yeah, I just look forward to, we're doing a lot of racing in a short amount of time, and I think that's pretty sweet too.
RJ, I guess I'd ask the same question of you. What were the expectations coming in? Was there rust to knock off, or how did you feel?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say the expectations. I mean, I know what we've done the last 4 months since my ACL. And like I said, I wasn't coming in here to not be competitive. And realistically, I haven't really been a podium guy every weekend. So that was my goal coming in is, look, we're going to be in this every weekend. Fight for the top if we can. If not, settle in. And I think that's kind of what I did today. That second moto is I matched Dylan a little bit, but man, he had some good lines, and yeah, happy with the day.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Dan, you're next. Go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with RJ for a minute. RJ, after that first moto, you kind of showed a little emotion on the podium. Was there something behind that other than just how hard you've worked to get back and how fast you got back and ended up on the podium?
Oh man, to be honest with you, there's quite a bit. Yeah, I had a lot of these last 4 months have definitely been a suffer. Also, I left my agency, so don't have an agent anymore, so that kind of played a lot of it. And same with my daughter. Like she was there for her first outdoors. Same with my wife. So man, there's so many things that gone into that.
Cool. And
That's cool.
any more, Dan?
Yeah, I wanted to. I haven't talked to him since Supercross. You had a killer year, and you ended up leaving to have your knee surgery in the middle of a great year, and then they say they're going to race in June. I wanted to know what went through your mind when you found out they were racing in June.
Is that for me?
Yeah, it's for you, RJ. When you got your knee done, thinking you're coming back in October, and then they started in June.
Yeah, man, I was pretty bummed on that whole deal. I mean, it's selfish to say, but I am happy that the series did, get to continue and finish off. But at the same time, what we were told at the beginning, I got my knee fixed to be ready to finish off the season.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, you can look at it in a bunch of different ways, but when it first came out that we were going racing, I was not the happiest person around, but just kind of stuck to my word that there's a bigger plan. And yeah, I mean, clearly you can tell there was a lot more to it than just a Supercross. So hopefully it can pay off this whole outdoor season.
Nice. And one more for Jeremy. Jeremy, that first moto you never saw Dylan, but you look like you might have had the pace to stay with him, and I'm thinking you might have thought that too. The second moto though, he started right in front of you, and kind of in the middle there, you lost him. Was that a little frustrating?
Yeah, for sure. So like in Moto 1, like I felt like I could have matched his pace, and but I mean, he's obviously, you don't really know what's maybe going on in his mind at that point. At that point, we're probably 20, 25 minutes into the moto. And I could see he knew where I was. He was watching me, and I could see him too. And you don't know if maybe he's just doing just enough to maintain the gap. But we did a little yo-yo, and then I'm like, man, he's too crafty. He's too solid. So I knew I wasn't going to get him. And I just kind of got ready for Moto 2. And yeah, for sure, Moto 2, I'm like, I saw all the boys, RJ, Shane, everybody, Dylan was there right in front of me, and I'm like, dude, you can't sit behind these guys. They're fast, and they're good. So I definitely lost some ground on the boys that ended up beating me today in the overall due to a lack of kind of making moves happen in the beginning of the race. Yeah.
That's fair.
Cool.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Johnny, go ahead.
All right. Thank you. It's Johnny Hopper with Cooksey Media and MX Unfiltered. And Martin, this was for you, Jeremy. You just said he was crafty. I know you said that on the podium as well. And Dylan was open about saying that he was saving his bike because of the heat. And I know you also lost your goggles in that second moto, and it kind of, and you had your brother that seemed to hold you up as far as lap times. It was like right around lap 9, you had your fastest lap time, and then it kind of slowed off there. Did you have words with your brother, or how are you going to beat Dylan in moving forward?
Yeah, so Dylan's tough. I mean, he's he just won the second Supercross championship basically back to back, and like you can't beat a guy like that in just one weekend or 2 weekends. It takes time. Obviously, he went 1-1 today, so I have to find some ground, and I have to get better, obviously, and that's always the goal. But yeah, I mean, Alex and we had dinner tonight, and we were harping on each other pretty good already. He's talking shit to me, and I was talking shit to him, so we talked about the race already for sure.
Gotcha, man. Well, I do have to say, you're a strong man to come back from an injury that you have, to just all you guys to risk your bodies week in and week out. I know a lot of us fans, we really appreciate it because it gives us something to do, especially with this whole pandemic thing going on. We're happy you guys are racing and, doing it not just for you guys, but the fans as well. With that being said, I know this series is only 9 races. Do you think that might make an asterisk to the series just because it's condensed? Or do you actually think it might make it a harder series because there's not as many laps, not as many motos, so you don't have the time to make a mistake? And would you guys prefer maybe having a condensed series moving forward because it'd give you more time to recover and maybe spend some time with family and then get into Supercross?
Is this for me or for everybody?
So I'll just go with you, Jeremy. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I had a buddy back home ask me, hey, what do you think of the shorter series? And I said, we're lucky to have a series, whether it's 12 outdoor nationals. Well, we still got 9 rounds, and whether it's condensed or not, it's still all the same guys on the line, right? And to me, that's a series. It is shorter, but there's enough motos there, and there's enough stuff to where, yeah, there's the potential of mistakes, and I feel like definitely not. There would be no asterisk there. Now, if Dylan got, if something happened to Dylan and something happened to, a bunch of guys in the top 5, top 10, I'd be like, yeah, that's an asterisk for sure. But everybody's there right now. Everybody seems to be, as far as what we can see, I can see from the outside in, everybody's healthy. So, yeah, I don't think so.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. And I got one more question for Shane. Shane, I know, thank God MX Sports has been able to get Loretta Lynn on the map so that we can actually have more than 8 rounds for you guys. But I know the facility is not really designed for the pros, and it's a little bit tighter, and there's not really long straightaways for you guys. But I personally, just at least on the television, it demonstrated your guys' skill level. And I wouldn't mind seeing you guys go back there if it was open. And I know you guys are racing there next weekend, but just your opinion, Shane, would you be open to racing this track again? Do you think it's something that should be on the series just here forward?
Yeah, I think it's probably, if it were on the schedule, it'd probably be the only one that has 0 elevation. And it's, dirt-wise, it can have the similar dirt to other tracks, but just the way that the track's laid out there, and it's pretty tight. After racing today, it's been seven years since I raced here as an amateur. So, I've obviously watched Loretta's every year, like on the live feed, but dude, that track is a tough track to ride. And so I kind of gained a little more respect for the amateur guys that race it after racing it today. But it I feel like with it being tighter, that's kind of not the norm for an outdoor track. So it would be another one of those technical tracks that kind of puts, I don't know, a twist on things that you don't get the normal results like you would. it was really good today. I think with the section right off the start, I think taking that switch back out as well as the switch back out to the 10 Commandments, I think that made the track a lot more suitable to hold a pro race. So I think the rain kind of messed with us a little bit because there were only a few lines that were decent. So it was a tough racetrack today, but I think it does have some potential.
Awesome. I don't want to take anybody more time than I have to. You brought up a good point because of how tight it is. Did you have to change gearing, and were you ever in first gear because of it just being tight, or no?
No, I'm on a pretty good gearing setup right now. If I were on a different setting I run, kind of for more open tracks, then I probably would have had to go down to first. Just with, it wasn't necessarily that the turns are like first gear tight turns. It was the added fact that they were really deep still and they were really soft. So I mean, some ruts you would hit and you would stay right on top of the dirt, and other ruts you would hit and you would just sink to your foot pegs. And so that was really the biggest thing. But I just kind of rode my bike today, didn't make any changes, and it was really for that track being so tight, I think the conditions made it even slower. And so it was kind of hard to set your bike up for that because there were sections where we were going so slow. So it's bike setup wise, I don't really think much change is necessary there, just because it's not really a track like our other ones.
Mitch, go ahead.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Mitch Gunter, Race Rex here. RJ, my question's kind of going off of that, but it's for you about just kind of the bike setup and stuff. And is there anything specifically you're going to work on this next week? Obviously, knowing that you're going to be at the same track for 2 weeks in a row, is there anything you can point to of, hey, I want to change this, or hey, I want to focus on this, or just what are your thoughts again with kind of how you're set up and everything leading into the next race?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough calls, really. First moto, I ended up going out with a paddle tire on, and I think I made the wrong call because everybody around me all had, regular knobby tires on. Second moto, we did end up back on a knobby, and felt like my bike handled a lot better. So with that, I mean, I was pretty happy with my bike. It kind of went away late in that second moto, but I think that was more myself trying to be, taming it down quite a bit, which then, made the track actually a lot harder to ride. So, not much. Head home, get a couple of days of riding in, and decided to be coming back.
And then real quick, we know we talked about the main focus for you was to do Supercross, and then everything with the knee and stuff, how you had to drop out of that early for the surgery. But is there kind of a sense of relief almost, and now you're like, I can still at least race outdoors, even though you didn't, like I said, didn't get to race Supercross, but at least you're able to race something throughout the rest of the year?
It's two completely different things. I mean, I'm still kind of sour on the whole Supercross topic right now. Really won't know until next year, 2021 comes, and hopefully we do get to go racing with a full series. But until that comes around, this is all just pro motocross. Did what we could. We're going racing, and like I said, excited to be here. And
all right, and Kellen, we'll make you the last one so these guys can get out of here, and we'll let our 450 guys in.
Yep. Kellen Brower here from Racer X's questions for Shane. Shane, I'm curious if your approach to the races this year is any different, having a bike underneath you that can consistently put you out front in the starts.
That definitely plays into it a lot, but mainly it's just kind of preparation. I mean, we came in with working with the team, like they've watched me the last couple of years. They've seen kind of what I do, and our goal is to not do what we've done in the past. And so during the week, our second off season really lately has been working on fixing those things that kind of make me start off slow. And I think one of those things is kind of because I stayed in Supercross mode so much, and then this year actually getting to spend a lot of time on outdoors and be ready coming in. I mean, there was still a lot of newness for me. Like, I mean, I've ridden this bike, I've gotten used to it, but in a race scenario, that's still up in the air. And I mean, I've been riding in California, so we haven't had really tacky dirt at all. So it's there was kind of a lot up in the air coming here, but I had to really, well, I'm learning to trust the team and their suggestions on bike setup and kind of what we need to do and when we need to do it. And so that's been the biggest thing for me, is to like get out of my comfort zone and to trust the team when they bring something up. And I mean, it's a great start to the season for me compared to past years, but the way that I feel and the way that I've been riding, fourth is not so good. So, I mean, the other guys, they worked hard to be on the podium today, and I struggled with the track a little bit, but I also figured the track out a lot throughout the day. So it's I feel like we're just getting started, but we got some good things to do.
Cool. Thank you, gentlemen. You're done. Thanks for doing this. Congratulations to all of you on a great start to the season, and we'll see you guys again next week.